will just walk through that and then we'll start QA.
Sure, Mitthan, I have a one point here.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. So we can always talk about investments. The topic is investing, but would it make sense for us to bring everyone onto the same page first? Like get everyone comfortable about Bitcoin, uska history kya hai, kyun, why is
Yeah.
it born, or do you feel
I
we
think
just directly?
definitely makes sense. Let me start the slide. You guys look at this and then we will.
And if I can possibly just add there, put your questions in the chat box so that somebody can just monitor the questions there and बाद में consolidate करके पूछ लेंगे.
Okay, so I have a couple of things, but we will start what is Bitcoin and we will start the question. Okay, so I think it's 6:40 guys. So the first question will be what is Bitcoin or what's a cryptocurrency? I want like these both guys, Gaurav and Sumit, to start on that. Give you my own view later.
Right. So I'll kind of give a basic overview, but the way to kind of simply understand it, right? So how I kind of understood it is कि यार कोई multiplayer game कोई खेल रहा है, right? और उस multiplayer game में एक certain type का चीज है. Think of it this way कि कोई sword है, right? And that sword has all the power that is out there in the game. That's the most powerful weapon that is kind of and it's created in limited quantities. कि यार बस 12 swords होंगे उस game में, and though that sword is exchangeable, so one person can kind of send it to other person and all of that. So imagine that sort of a sword, and there are say millions of people playing that sort of a game. The value of that sword would kind of eventually go really, really high, right?
Right.
Precisely in that sort of a context, all these sort of values like scarcity, sort of a thing, are embedded in Bitcoin from the word go. It's pure math and code that is kind of through which it's kind of created, which says here overall supply would be a certain amount, which is 21 million sort of Bitcoins that would be out there. 18.5 million have roughly been mined, and it's kind of a geometric progression, so it kind of keeps decreasing. So whatever Bitcoins came in the last 4 years from 2016 to 2020, they would be more than the number of Bitcoins that would come from 2022 to 2140 when the last, say, Bitcoin would be kind of mined.
It will keep going half or some number exponential, basically.
So every 4 years, there is a block reward halving. And the last halving happened in May 2020. And the block reward kind of reduced from about 12.5 blocks or 12.5 Bitcoins per block to 6.25. I think Sumit can take over with basics of a blockchain. Bitcoin, how is Bitcoin a blockchain? What is a blockchain? And how does it work? Like, why is there no intermediary? And how does that kind of work?
So thanks, Gaurav.
Sure,
So Sumit,
sure.
let's start from you. Why Bitcoin and why not others? So,
Sure.
and then blockchain.
Sure, absolutely, Mitthan. Before I start, because I'm new to the group, I joined the group on Monday itself, and I was very excited to see the level of curiosity people have when it comes to cryptocurrencies. So I'll just give a quick background about myself because I'm new to the community. So I am a 2009 to 14 batch IIT Bombay graduate, dual degree electrical engineering. After graduation, I worked in Sony headquarters in Tokyo for a little more than a year. I was mostly into image processing, video processing, algorithms, software engineer primarily. And after that, I returned back to India. I heard about Bitcoin for the first time in Japan, but I did not invest. Right? I did not invest.
Yeah.
He regrets doing that.
Yeah, I regret doing that big time. Reason being, there was not a.
Where did you hear about it?
2014 and 2014-15. 2014 I graduated. 2014-15 I was in Japan. A lot of people, I even got offers from, when I was in Japan, offers from companies who were working in blockchain technology. Ignored it completely. Didn't invest because that was very difficult that time. So then now it's so easy to invest in Bitcoin. So came from that time, and then I moved back to India. Did a venture for 1 year, and then I'm into crypto from last 5 years now, almost 5 years. Have seen the bull run that we are seeing right now. I've seen it once in 2017, and 2018 April is when we launched CoinDCX, and after the RBI circular that came up. So that's quickly about my background. that's quickly about my background. So what we can, in order to understand Bitcoin in very simply, what we can do, and that's how I also learned about it. Uh, First, I started reading about the evolution of money, right? It's a very strange concept. How can some small pieces of paper or metal pass from person to person, and then we give that paper and then get some items, right? We came to this point in today's world right from the ancient history where people used to do barter. So barter se kaise fir metal currency se then paper currency in 7th century started from China. Usse fir, people started printing standardized currency, what Gaurav was talking about, gold and silver say, and then gold and silver used to be a mode of payment in the ancient times. And now we are today using paper currency. Now the world is such that we use digital payments, right? Because it was difficult to carry paper currency or commodities to exchange goods and services. Very interestingly, a lot of people used to use salt, namak, as a mode of payment long back.
Or a metal stone.
Yeah, or a metal stone. In Roman, they used to pay salt as salary, or as salary there. So जो salary word है ना, that comes from that salt salary. So तब से वो चलता आ रहा है, and now we are so advanced that it's so common. We use paper currency just like that, and we don't realize how it works, right? And the way it is progressing, the next logical progression is a totally digital currency. Why? Because that's how the system has evolved. That's how the system has evolved. Information right now can be transferred anywhere globally. आप information यहाँ से कहीं भेज सकते हो, but the value is not was not transferable so easily among the countries. Country के अंदर ही create कर INR के अंदर आप UPI कर सकते हो, bank transfer कर सकते हो, anything is possible, right? But when it comes to global payments, when it comes to transferring value globally, that was a challenge. So बहुत सारी history है. 2008 में recession आया. There was a guy called Satoshi Nakamoto. He published a white paper, and the white paper simply defines Bitcoin as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That means in order for you to transfer value from one person to another, you don't need a intermediary party, right? You don't need an intermediary party or a third party which controls that. That happened in 2009. The first block was mined. So generally to define it as like, it is just like any other currency like INR or US dollar or Japanese yen. It's just that in this, there is no central authority that controls the currency. So there is no, like in paper currency, like note, there can be counterfeiting, duplicate notes chalte hain, right? There can be double spending when it comes to centralized systems doing digital payments. But in blockchain, what happens is you solve all these problems. The problem of uniqueness, right? It cannot be double spent by mathematical problems and code, right? Which runs on in machines. And the beauty about this blockchain technology, it's like, in simple words, it's like a public database, right? Where you can add entries, and in order to add entries, you are incentivized something. So what Gaurav was mentioning, 18.5 million approximately, these many Bitcoins are mined, and blockchain is just a series of blocks. और हर ब्लॉक के अंदर बहुत सारे ट्रांजैक्शंस होते हैं, और उस ब्लॉक के ऊपर जब नया ब्लॉक ऐड होता है, that is where proof of work concept comes into picture, which can be more technical, but
so
in
I
simple
will come to that. So Sumit, let's keep we'll keep around 1 minute. So thank you, Sumit. Appreciate it.
Sure.
So meanwhile, I'll allow Gaurav to introduce, and then I'll introduce myself, and then we'll move on. Gaurav,
Sure.
I think.
So yeah, 0813, IIT Kharagpur, graduated in industrial engineering. So industrial engineering में ज़्यादा कुछ पढ़ाई होती नहीं थी, तो had a lot of things to kind of explore. So started kind of working on a few things back in college itself. Got placed in ITC, worked there for 45 days. Independence Day, I quit. Started working full time on my venture. The first venture that I kind of launched was Dahake. So Dahake helps consumers make better shopping decisions. So price comparison, coupons, deals, insights, and all of that. Raised funding from Chris Gopal Krishnan, one of the founders of Infosys and BNext. We scaled it, got bugged by the crypto thing in 2017. Tried mining back in college. So this is 2012-13. Final year tha, we are kind of free. And Bitcoin was kind of rising that point in time. So we started studying, and because have that engineering sort of attitude, तब ये नहीं सोचा कि यार buy कर लेते हैं. तब ये सोचा कि mine करते हैं. So we assembled a PC and we tried mining. The mining difficulty kind of rose, so ज़्यादा कुछ mine हुआ नहीं. And the rest of the semester we used the PC for playing FIFA. So that was kind of the first brush. 2017 is when we kind of again kind of got into it, and we saw here there is a lack of certain things into the Indian market. Couple of things were there like Zeppe, Unocoin, and a couple of other exchanges used to be kind of out there, but the experience that they are kind of giving to users was pretty poor in a lot of respects, and that's when we were like, yeah, how do we kind of address this? And we worked on Bitbns. So Bitbns stands for Bitcoin Buy and Sell. We started with Bitbns as a fiat to crypto exchange. Right now as well, we kind of do fiat to crypto. And we also have another product. It's called BitDroplet, which is a Bitcoin SIP product. So the reason of launching that product was here mostly people don't get care how to enter Bitcoin. Like a lot of people would have question, abhi already 29 lakh ka ho chuka hai Bitcoin, should I enter now, right? But a dollar cost averaging has always worked in crypto, and it has kind of given substantial returns. So we kind of started with it, and things are kind of looking upwards for crypto in general globally. Also in India, pretty dramatically after seeing that 2 years of lull period or fairly negative period, जहाँ पे हमारे घर वाले भी पूछते थे कि बेटा तुम कुछ illegal तो नहीं कर रहे हो. So we've kind of seen those phases as well. And now things kind of look promising. Right now, a lot of them would have questions here. Is it legal? Yes, you can perfectly invest, trade, hold, or mine crypto with your rupees. Bank account से पैसा deposit कर सकते हो. Instant पैसा deposit होता है, instant withdraw होता है. कोई भी exchange में, CoinDCX में कर लो, Bitbns में कर लो, कहीं भी कर लो. Most exchanges have that, and it's 24/7 cross 365.
Thanks, Gaurav. I have a follow-up question for both of you. Okay. So thank you for
Yes.
what are the currencies or how many assets you allow on each one of you? I mean, just answer like, do you
Yeah,
have a new
100 plus, and Sumit case mein to I think
So
quite
हमारे केस में तो बहुत है. So we have almost like 400 plus crypto assets. So we have multiple products जो investing के लिए है. So there's a app that we have launched which only has tokens where we have legal opinion from our legal lawyers. तो सारे tokens we understand it's not safe for retail investors. तो उसके लिए हम लोग there are 14 tokens that we have selected. उसमें आप invest कर सकते हैं. बाकी trading के लिए there are like crypto to crypto में like we have 400 plus options. So you can do margin trading, futures, spot trading, all of that.
Thank you. Okay, so now let's come down. So I'll give quick intro. Myself, I'm Mitthan, Meena. I'm 2001 IIT Delhi and been working couple of things. Laxmicoin is one. I started a IoT security company in 2014 called Oot Cloud, and then work in another cloud security company, Elastica, got acquired by Blue Coat, Symantec. And then I'm starting another company called Microsec, it's cloud security company, and Laxmicoin. So that's why about me. But anyway, so guys, the question, I'll start with a couple of common questions. What is crypto? What is crypto or Bitcoin medium of exchange? Or is it basically?
right. तो just kind of give an opinion. जो definition है, जैसे it's called virtual currency, right? It's not functioning as a currency right now, and it's more treated as an asset, right? लोग अभी बिटकॉइन को इन्वेस्टमेंट के तौर पे देखते हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ देम, ठीक है. एंड जो काफी सारे रेगुलेटर्स के कंसर्न्स रहे, पहले भी ये कंसर्न रहा है कि यार इज इट गोइंग टू मेडल विद द सॉवरेन मनी, एंड जो गवर्नमेंट का एक फंक्शन होता है कि यार उसको मेडल तो नहीं कर रहा है, ठीक है. That's not the purpose that it is kind of serving now. Most people view Bitcoin as an asset, and what's happening right now is that the velocity of money that is kind of coming into Bitcoin is exceptionally higher as compared to any other asset class. So like gold वगैरह से भी पैसा move होकर Bitcoin में जा रहा है. So it's looked more as a store of value or as an asset. rather than kind of a currency right now. And I think that's what it would be kind of looked at for the foreseeable future.
Cool, thanks. Gaurav, Sumit, you have any view on that?
What was the question, Mitten?
Is it a medium of exchange, the crypto?
So what Gaurav mentioned, I would see it rather as a store of value. A lot of people think that Bitcoin is came here to replace our fiat currency, just like we use Paytm money or our like fiat currency to pay for goods and services. I personally feel that it will not be like that. It is not a replacement of our existing currency system. It is more like a store of value where you are investing in Bitcoin to hedge against inflation, right? If because right now, because of COVID, so many things changed in the global financial scenario. So if something happens, if any country, hyperinflation already happened in Zimbabwe and Venezuela recently. So ऐसी जगह Bitcoin is the very perfect app store of value, similar to gold. So that is why you will see the trend where a lot of money that was going into gold earlier, that is slowly drifting to Bitcoin. Because gold, whatever properties gold has, Bitcoin also has similar properties, except the jewelry wala use case. But that is not less than 1% of the total gold supply. So it's a clear
ज्वेलरी
store of
वाला भी
value.
पहले इसलिए था कि भाई तुम अपने साथ में लेके घूम रहे हो, कुछ वैल्यू है,
Yes.
तुम यू होल्ड इट टू योर, सो बेसिकली आप इसको कहीं इन्वेस्ट ना कर दो, खर्च नहीं हो जाए, इमरजेंसी टाइम पे यूज हो जाए. बट आजकल वो सिचुएशंस, दीस सिचुएशंस आर टेकन केयर बाय द इंश्योरेंस, दे आर टेकन केयर ऑफ योर सेविंग्स, एफडीज एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स.
Right.
It's actually replaces. So these are the couple of points I have gathered on that. So irreversible, you can use anywhere. So like your fiat currency, you cannot use into different countries, or regulatories are allowed because of the scarcity or limited supply. The liquidity is always available. Basically, everybody is ready to buy these days. Low fees. So okay.
शेयर मार्केट में T+2 सेटलमेंट होता है. आप आज बेचोगे तो 2 दिन बाद पैसा मिलता है. क्रिप्टो में आप आज बेचोगे, सेम डे बैंक अकाउंट में इमीडिएट आता है.
24/7 अवेलेबल है.
Yes.
Really.
शेयर मार्केट आपका क्लोज हो जाएगा, ये क्लोज नहीं होगा, मतलब देयर नो क्लोजिंग आवर्स.
Right.
Yeah, it's always up.
So another question was this question: is Bitcoin a new hedge?
Is Bitcoin a new hedge? I would say yes. For a fairly like जो जनता क्रिप्टो में है, राइट, मतलब आई थिंक आई डिनोमिनेट माय से सेविंग्स और नेटवर्थ इन द फॉर्म ऑफ क्रिप्टो. मतलब मैं ये नहीं देखता हूँ कि यार इसका रुपी वैल्यू क्या है, डॉलर वैल्यू क्या है. आई काइंड ऑफ लुक एट कि यार इसका बीटीसी वैल्यू क्या है, व्हाटएवर होल्डिंग्स आई हैव और एसेट्स आई हैव और रुपीस आई हैव और समथिंग. I calculate the BTC value of that and then kind of see here, is that BTC value kind of improving or not? That's how kind of I see it. The reason for that is कि say Indian users है, right? Indian जनता के लिए ये पंगा है कि यार Indian currency depreciates at least 4% with respect to dollar. मतलब 2008-9 में 39-40 रुपीस का एक डॉलर था, अभी 73-74 हो गया, राइट? सो 80% तो डेप्रिशिएट कर गया पिछले 10-11 साल में, राइट? अब बात ये हो गई कि डॉलर भी डेप्रिशिएट करने लग गया. सो योर फियाट करेंसी का जो वो एग्जिस्टेंस है, राइट, दैट इज काइंड ऑफ गेटिंग चैलेंज टू सर्टेन कंटेक्स्ट कि यार अगर नेगेटिव इंटरेस्ट रेट आ जाता है सारी जगह, यूरोप में ऑलरेडी आ चुके हैं, बाकी जगह भी आ रहे हैं, राइट? व्हेन नेगेटिव इंटरेस्ट रेट काइंड ऑफ कम्स, व्हाट हैपेंस इन दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ अ केस? why should kind of people park money at wherever bonds में करते हैं या फिर जहाँ पे भी लोग park करते हैं, and that's driving this sort of speculative frenzy to a certain extent as well, not just with respect to Bitcoin but also in stocks, right? So a stock like Tesla has gone like 17-18x in a year span, and that's kind of happening a lot, but to a large degree Bitcoin has always appreciated with respect to any other asset over a longer period of time. मतलब 2-3 साल के अंदर. So if you just plot Bitcoin versus gold, Bitcoin has appreciated, like gold has depreciated 96% with respect to Bitcoin in the last 5 years. If you plot Bitcoin versus FANG stocks like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, kuch bhi, they've also depreciated with respect to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has kind of appreciated faster than any other asset class because of the limited supply and because of the global consensus that this has a potential to kind of replace gold as a store of value in general. And gold to Bitcoin ratio is 1 is to about 20 right now. 1 is to 20, 1 is to 25. So that's the overall growth potential from here for Bitcoin, at least.
Thank you. And okay, so Sumit, another question we had, because 33, somewhere I got the data, 33% of the dollars are printed this year, 2020, to give stimulus.
Yes,
What do
that's
you
a
think, how much
that's
we
a
print?
that's an alarming sign. A lot of people, lot of liquidity, new liquidity has come into market, and problem क्या है इसमें कि generally government पहले gold से backing होती थी, whatever fiat currency we have, वो that's no longer there from 1972. 1970 से वो बंद हो गया. So government can now print as many dollars as they want. So the net, the value of the currency that you hold is decreasing. So what people say is, whenever you are investing, you should have a very diversified portfolio. Now, other asset classes like gold, real estate, stocks, mutual funds, they have a very low correlation with crypto. So when you want to build a very smart portfolio, you should have a small portion of your portfolio in Bitcoin also, and that that is like a hedge against inflation. So whatever happens, for example, and a lot of people have told me that in next 2 years we might we can even see a recession, right? So if that happens, then this will essentially be very valuable, because वहाँ पे उसका value नहीं रहेगा. So you should have a small portion of your portfolio into this new asset class, which is less correlated with rest of the asset classes. And yes, a government abhi, budget aane wala, anything can happen, right? So if government prints like 33% more, then the net value of that asset, fiat is also going down. So what do you do in that case? You should have something which is independent of that.
Exactly. Let's say if you had a 100 rupees in your bank in 2000 and you had that in today, so this value is almost like 10%. I mean, that's 10 rupees of today. So it's like our parents used to say, my parents used to say like, बेटा 1 रुपए में गुड़ मिलता था, उससे हम इतना खाते थे, मतलब पूरा 2-4 दिन चलता था. आज 1 रुपए में गुड़ के नजदीक नहीं लाते.
Right. Chocolate.
Anyway.
वे बेसिक डेफिनेशन वही मुझे लगता है कि जैसे see Indian women, right? Indian women are inherently kind of smart even without understanding economics. Like, so they try and hoard gold, right? तो गोल्ड मतलब इंडियन के हर घर में कुछ ना कुछ गोल्ड होता है, और गोल्ड ऑलवेज हैज प्रिजर्व्ड वैल्यू ऑल टाइम. 1970 में 100 ग्राम में 100 रुपए में 10 ग्राम गोल्ड आता था, and now it is 50,000 rupees. So it has depreciated about 500 times in 50 years, right? Up naturally at a lot of these places where gold was there as say a collateral, or they kept gold, they were able to survive some tough times, right? So essentially for a lot of people, they say I kind of see that and I've kind of heard stories and even talked to a couple of folks जो काफी hyper inflating countries में थे, and whatever their saving was, right? कि यार किसी का saving था 1 करोड़ या 2 करोड़, and what happened was their currency का value 50% depreciate कर गया 1 साल के अंदर. Now that person is already retired. उसके पास जो भी सेविंग थी उसको लगा कि यार this is a comfortable saving and all, and I'll kind of earn interest on top of that. But वो currency की purchasing power ही 50% depreciate कर गई, तो what is that person going to do now? Right?
Exactly. On that, I'll tell you. On that, I tell you, like around 2010, people used to say if you have $1 million in a bank, you can retire. Today, they say if you should have $2.5 million.
I think that's low.
And that's still low. Okay, guys. So on top of that, I think I'll question on investing part. A lot of people ask what should be my strategy. So I collected some data based on my own understanding, but you guys can tell me. So what I feel, if I am a new user or I am new to crypto or I'm coming, my strategy should be like I should hold 55% of my like total portfolio. I should have like 2 to 5% in crypto. That's my thought. I'm not advising anybody. It's not an advice, just an information. I'm just telling what my strategy is. 2 to 5% of my portfolio I keep in crypto. Some people keep it more. It's up to absolutely up to them. I keep 55% of that in Bitcoin. It may be low, but people should have my advice is more than that. I'll ask you guys views, and then Ethereum I said 10% or it can be more. Then you should have POS, like proof of stake, which is new kind of coming, lot of things are coming. So 10% into that, 10% into newcomers, and then mixed mess. So like I will ask you guys, like what do you think? Both of you, Sumit or Gaurav, whoever want to start.
Matlab, I am extremely long crypto. I spent almost every waking hour on it. So I see that here from the vantage point that I kind of sit at, or what Sumit sits at, I can definitely say here, like over a period of time, crypto has a potential to replace banks. ठीक है, money replacement वाला बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ मैं, लेकिन banks को जरूर replace कर सकता है, ठीक है. Like if I have to kind of predict something here 2030 तक क्या change होगा, I would say कि यार banks, कुछ banks तो non-existent हो जाएंगे.
On top of that, I'll put a point here. Federal government in US, federal has advised the banks can issue their own coin using public blockchain.
Stable, yes.
Right. But like as in they can issue things and all, but वही है कि it's like asking a legacy player to kind of start something new, right? मतलब Android, like the mobile OS was not created by Windows. Windows had the largest desktop OS market share, but they didn't do that. Intel didn't create a mobile chip, right? And these are tech companies. यार इनको तो tech समझता है, right? So that's precisely what I'm saying here. New set of banking mechanism, right? That's not going to happen with traditional banks. It's going to be kind of in different shapes and forms in which it kind of gets disrupted. And I kind of see कि things that are kind of getting built on top of crypto, जैसे Ethereum के ऊपर काफी सारी चीजें build होती है. They have the potential to kind of do some of these things. And we're already seeing substantially large amount of value getting settled. Like Ethereum last एक साल में $1 trillion settle कर चुका है. So the amount of movement of funds and the value movement is extremely high already. And that's kind of growing at an extremely high pace. And that's when I'm kind of bullish here. This doesn't need a lot of capital or regulatory permission or something. Someone in his garage can kind of innovate and make lending and borrowing possible for every single person on the planet. It has that sort of potential. Of course, a lot of things need to be worked out. UX broken hai, crypto samajhta nahi kisi ko, all those sort of things are there. But I already see that 0.1% of the people already live and breathe on that. They don't keep money in their bank account. Like 95% of my assets are in crypto. I don't keep money in my bank account. At times I have to borrow fiat money. Ye karna hai, wo karna hai. So that's and
what percentage people should have the crypto assets? Like I'm trying to
इसके around Yale की एक study है. Yale has kind of said here about 6% of your assets should be in Bitcoin, specifically crypto भी नहीं बोल रहे वो. I would say कि Bitcoin तो definitely exposure crypto में आना है तो Bitcoin का exposure तो सबसे पहले लो. उसके बाद if you want to go Ethereum you can explore. उसके बाद के लिए you need to study and kind of figure out. उसके बाद it can be so volatile कि यार 95%.
Laxmicoin, CoinDCX or CS.
I didn't.
Okay, anybody was saying something, but anyway, so we'll continue. So Sumit, what do you think? This is like Gaurav said, कि Bitcoin तो होना जरूरी है, right?
हाँ.
Everybody, like I said, पहला काम करो Bitcoin ले लो, बाद में बाकी का काम करो.
तो मेरा इसमें थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट ओपिनियन है. सो गौरव और मैं हम लोग मतलब इस इंडस्ट्री में वी ब्रीथ दिस इंडस्ट्री. हम हमेशा इसमें रहते हैं. वी नो एवरीथिंग दैट हैपेंस इन द इंडस्ट्री. But not everyone has the time and energy to invest so much into understanding क्या हो रहा है, right? A lot of people are like that. So now this is for common investors, like people who want to invest. If you are not following the industry 24/7, I would recommend just to have Bitcoin and Ethereum majorly, right? And invest from a very long-term perspective. Don't go by the trading. Don't trade actively if you are not actively involved in this space. So Bitcoin, Ethereum में the ratio that I personally feel सबसे पहले हो क्या रहा है. तो Bitcoin is a good store of value that is proven. A lot of people, Grayscale, Mass Mutual, MicroStrategy, all of them are investing because Bitcoin is a good store. उनको gold और digital gold समझ में आता है. Bitcoin is a digital gold. They understand all of that, so they invest in Bitcoin. Ethereum has a higher upside because that money is yet to come into Ethereum, right? Ethereum is one, will bring mass adoption when it comes to blockchain, right? Ethereum के ऊपर dApps बनेंगे, dApps के ऊपर use cases बनेंगे, use cases से adoption आएगा. which might take its own time. But you will see that a lot of price movement when you talk about long term will happen in Bitcoin, Ethereum. I also feel personally that a lot of these altcoins, small coins that you see, 80% of them will die in the
So,
next 3-5
I
years.
think 80 or 90% will die.
90% will die. So
Yeah.
पता लगाना difficult होता है कौन सा क्या होगा, and there is so much information asymmetry that is out there. It's better for a normal investor to just stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum only for now. Not even Ripple. I'm not even talking about Ripple. Bitcoin,
If
Ethereum
you are
majorly.
normal, then you should be this way. I mean, majorly two of them, or some of like, if you look at Stellar, it has grown today only, like how much it grown.
Yesterday it grew a lot. So yesterday
Yeah, it grew around 80%. So if you can come down to coin market cap, and if you can do analysis, some of these small coins, these coins nobody knew, they really grew crazy. So my point is, that's why I'm trying to tell you the strategy. It's a mix match kind of thing. Like thoda sa percentage you should have there. Okay, with that, you guys have anything? But I'll start the questions on the Zoom. So
I think one of the questions was also around mining a bit. So I'll kind of just try and touch that. With respect to crypto mining in general, right? Bitcoin. So mining wale jo bhi coins hote hain, Bitcoin was the first mined sort of a coin, and these coins are proof of work coins, jahan pe you kind of break a cryptographic algorithm. जैसे Bitcoin के case में that's the thing कि all sort of transactions are cryptographically locked, and a miner breaks that sort of a lock and verifies कि यार ये transaction सही है, ठीक है? So that's basically the mining aspect of it. It was individually possible to even mine with your computer in 2010, 11, 12 and all. That's when we also kind of took a shot कि यार PC assemble करके mine करके देखते हैं. And it didn't kind of like as in we didn't kind of mine a lot of satoshis, but that was possible then. Over a period of time, it has gotten a lot more sophisticated, and now there are kind of specialized equipments around that. You can kind of buy them on places like Amazon and kind of mine at your place. But you need to kind of work out the commercials कि यार इसका electricity cost कितना है, mining difficulty rise करते जाती है. It kind of keeps increasing over a period of time. And it's kind of extremely kind of secure. Like right now, Bitcoin's mining difficulty is that way. Even if there are 50,000 supercomputers together, they would not be able to kind of break that sort of a chain. So war difficulty over and over time has kind of increased. And a couple of people also have questions कि quantum computing के कारण Bitcoin को कुछ issue होगा या नहीं. And that's kind of a unfounded sort of a concern. Here, quantum computing can also be used to kind of secure Bitcoin's encryption part of it. So mining के around अलग-अलग type की mining होती है, and I think we can kind of briefly touch that as like after we take all the questions, and if there are any other questions around mining.
I think there are two kind of crypto blockchains right now, is POW and POS. So I have listed the challenges of POW and POS, both of the blockchains, but I think if you look at there, the main problem with the blockchain is, so challenges with blockchain, scalability, energy consumption, transaction speed. So if you look here, Visa can do today, Visa net claims that 65,000 transactions, where the Bitcoin, Ethereum can do around 256 or something like that.
Ethereum is 15 per second.
This
15 per second.
Like up to, so that's what the claim. And then Bitcoin, how much they can do, like very low, basically 4 5, and then MasterCard says 5,000. So how do they replace? So that's where the POS will come. Some of the POS proof of stake where mining is not needed, is to basically different algorithms like federated by Gente or practical by Gente, whatever consensus mechanism they're using, but one of them has to be scalability is big criteria. So I would not be surprised somebody comes out of somewhere and actually replace most of them, but Bitcoin may not be replaceable. Bitcoin will be like sub ka baap hai.
Bitcoin
So
में network effect है, इतना strong network effect है, it is difficult to replace now. It has a very strong network effect. It is it is the king of crypto.
Exactly. So it will become a backbone or replaceable or convertible. Everything will be referenced to Bitcoin. But for a micro payment or day-to-day use, Bitcoin or blockchain or Ethereum blockchain is not there right now. There are, so I'm assuming there will be some more, and somebody new will come, will replace. Okay. Anyways, guys. So on that, I'm taking questions. What will happen when all the Bitcoins are mined? So Sumit or Gaurav, whoever.
Sumit can start and I can definitely.
So it will, I think what I've read is, after every 4 years, the difficulty increases and the supply gets cut in half. So abhi, as of now, आप अगर एक block add करते हो, block reward is 6.25 bitcoins. After 4 years, it's gonna be 3.25. और कम होता जाएगा, और कम होता जाएगा. So if you draw, it will take 150 plus years to possibly mine most of the bitcoins. Like, but वो technically उस number तक पहुंचने में it will take long time. So, but at one point, we'll come to a stage where almost all the bitcoins are mined. So supply नहीं आ रहा है and demand is continuously rising. तो उससे price भी और बढ़ेगा.
Right. I think that's one, but at the problem एक दूसरा भी है कि उस सारे माइन हो गए, उसके बाद में ब्लॉक रिवार्ड नहीं आ रहा, तो क्यों ट्रांजैक्शन होगा? Why will somebody
तो माइनर फीस होती है, तो ट्रांजैक्शन में हमेशा माइनर फीस होती है. और बिकॉज बिटकॉइन की प्राइस अगर बहुत ज्यादा हो गई, बिटकॉइन की प्राइस अगर 5 करोड़ रुपए होगी, तो हर ट्रांजैक्शन की फी भी उस प्रोपोर्शन में होगी. सो दैट वुड काइंड ऑफ कंपनसेट फॉर दैट पार्ट ऑफ इट.
Right. So you'll get mining reward plus the fees collected.
Exactly. So mining reward ना होके आपकी फीस से काम चल जाएगा. But at this time, maybe the problem, I mean, there are some challenges because इतना सारा वैल्यू हो जाएगा ट्रांजेक्शन करने के लिए कि भाई ये यूजेबल नहीं है. But anyway, this is equal to gold because it has gold property, scarcity. That's where people are actually referencing it to it. Okay. Another question: What do you mean by rupee averaging? I think that was from Gaurav, right?
No, so I'll just kind of so Bitcoin में exposure या investment किसी को भी करना है, and if they have not done it, I would strictly advise कि exposure आप एक systematic way में करो. SIP type एक चीज से exposure लीजिए कि, and SIP also you should kind of do it on a more frequent basis. कि एक monthly SIP Bitcoin में नहीं work करता है, क्योंकि एक मंथ में प्राइस डबल हो जाता है. मतलब 16 दिसंबर को प्राइस was less than half of this, and it's just Jan 7th and the price has gone double. So if you don't do SIP into Bitcoin frequently, you can miss the entire move. So there are products around that. We also run a product called Bitdroplet, jahan pe you can systematically invest into Bitcoin on a daily basis as well. Ki daily basis pe $1, $5, $10, whatever you want to invest, or rupees, 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, you can kind of invest in. And that kind of works the best to kind of take an exposure into Bitcoin. यार time करना बहुत मुश्किल है. We even being in the industry can't say कि यार क्या है क्या नहीं है. It's very hard to kind of time Bitcoin. So the best thing ideally would be कि एक systematic way से आप exposure लो. And even in Bitcoin, even in Ethereum, usually that kind of works out the best.
Okay, thank you. Another question is, one question I'm skipping some question which is I think too technical. Why there is a limit to the number of coins that can be mined from the network? I mean, these are just algorithms are defined. You can functionally explain. Okay. Can you please explain how to freeze the coins in the cold wallet?
Freeze?
You mean how to store coins in the cold wallet?
Right. I mean, so you don't need to explain, but just let me ask a question. How do you guys make sure the safety of people investing through your exchanges?
Sure. So what we do is there is a hot wallet, there's a cold wallet, right? So a lot of the funds that we have are placed in cold wallets, which is insured. So CoinDCX, someone asked what does CoinDCX do? I can also explain that in detail. We are a crypto investing and trading platform. So if anyone in India wants to invest into Bitcoin or any of the crypto assets, they can do it through CoinDCX. And whatever people invest in, most of the funds are kept in cold wallet, which is insured. So there's $100 million in Bitcoin insurance that we have taken. Most of the funds are kept there. There's a hot wallet. which is behind a very tight security. So whenever someone wants to withdraw, तब उतना ही पैसा उसमें जाता है, बाकी सारा का सारा cold wallet में रहता है. So that is how the exchange manages the security infrastructure. Plus within the exchange, for user, we also do a lot of things where users, even if they forget their email ID, password, there are a lot of things that we have placed in the CoinDCX platform ताकि fund account hack ना हो. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल उसमें व्हाइट लिस्टेड एड्रेस होता है कि आप अपना व्हाइट लिस्ट एड्रेस डाल दो, अगर आप विड्रॉ करना चाहते हो, अगर आपने नहीं डाला तो आपका फंड विड्रॉ हो ही नहीं सकता, राइट? यू हैव टू इनेबल व्हाइट लिस्ट एड्रेस. तो फंड अगर अकाउंट का एक्सेस मिल भी गया तो कोई दूसरे एड्रेस में विड्रॉ नहीं कर सकता. देन देयर इज गूगल 2 फैक्टर ऑथेंटिकेशन. आप सेकंड फैक्टर ऑथेंटिकेशन एसएमएस पे सेट मत करो, गूगल 2 फैक्टर ऑथेंटिकेशन सेट करो. एसएमएस कोई भी रीड कर सकता है, बाय टेकिंग योर एंड्रॉइड परमिशन. So there are certain device verification होता है.
Both of you have 2 factor authentication enabled by the.
Yes.
What
Two
else?
factor authentication.
How do you safeguard yourself with the? I will ask Sumit and then I'll come to Gaurav. So from the viruses also. So what else kind of? I mean, what other security measures you have taken? Just quickly. I mean, we don't want to.
Yeah. So again, one is the cold wallet infrastructure. Second is the platform infrastructure. तो सारी जो services हैं, they are designed in a way where outside external party cannot even enter the system, right? और उसको भी decentralized कर रखा है with backend में. So that will be more technical, but whatever APIs we have, whatever जो भी उसमें processing चलती है, all of that is decentralized within the system, ताकि कोई वो hack नहीं कर सकता उसको.
Thanks, Gaurav. You have anything?
Right. So security as a whole, as an exchange, we kind of take very seriously, and we spend like almost 3 times more time on the security part of it, क्योंकि हमें पता है कि यार एक बार वो trust lose हो जाता है, no one kind of is going to put money there. So we kind of spend a lot of time around that, and industry में we kind of keep figuring out कि यार what's something that as an advancement has been done by some other exchange or other, and we kind of keep following that, or also kind of take certain initiatives from our end to kind of take the mantle forward. 90% plus of the funds are always in cold wallet, so people can kind of be really rest assured around that. There is no incident around kind of any compromise with respect to funds on Bitbns for the last 3+ years. That can kind of claim that. So that's been kind of something that we've kind of ensured, and multi-sig sort of wallet infra and all of that is kind of out there in place. So security, like almost every single crypto exchange takes very seriously. And
क्वेश्चन और था इसी पे. पहले इंडिया में एक एक्सचेंज था, उसमें से one of the partner took 16 crores Bitcoin and run away.
CoinSecure.
Right. So how do you guys, both of you, how do you, that kind of situation, how do you handle? I mean, just quick one.
So हमारे case में, even if I want to do anything, I'll not be able to do that, because the capability to withdraw funds is not just with me. It is with some people plus the provider who provides the cold wallet for us. तो अगर हम भी चाहें तो भी नहीं कर सकते यूजर का फंड, बिकॉज जैसा गौरव ने बोला, सिक्योरिटी इज ऑफ पैरामाउंट इंपॉर्टेंस टू एनी एक्सचेंज. एंड लास्ट 3 साल से तब से हम लोग वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर यूज कर रहे हैं, एंड इट हैज बीन वर्किंग प्रीटी वेल फॉर अस. सो वहां पे सिस्टम प्रोटोकॉल फॉलो नहीं होगा, इसीलिए दैट माइट बी रिस्की.
रूट या फिर बिटकॉइन का भी बेसिक रूट ये था कि यार तुम लोगों के हाथ में पावर दोगे तो मिसयूज होगी. ठीक है, ग्लोबल फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस पावर मिसयूज था, बैंक्स अपना पावर मिसयूज किए, रिस्की फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स बनाए, लोगों को उसमें इन्वेस्ट कराए, ऑल ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग हैपेंड. Even now you are giving power to banks. There is cases with Yes Bank, PMC Bank and Lakshmi Vilas Bank, और वहां पे मिसयूज हो रहा है फंड्स का, किसी और को गलत जगह जा रहा है, ICICI Bank. All of these cases have kind of happened. That's precisely what we also kind of take as an onus कि यार चाह के भी कोई अगर मिसयूज नहीं कर सकता है, that's the best sort of security. कि यार तुम even if you want to do it, if you can't do it as a misuse, that's the best form of protection, and that's what we have kind of enabled. कि यार एक बंदा चाह के भी गलत चीज कर नहीं पाएगा, and it needs kind of multiple sort of people in place.
You have multi-sig basically.
Multi-sig. It's a very standard.
You have some other kind of mechanism. So I think if you look at Coinbase, generally what they do is they take a cold wallet, store into some hill in San Francisco. They have a security guard.
Coinbase is god of security. मतलब Coinbase is exceptionally good in terms of their security infra, and absolutely no doubt.
So we also Coinbase is one of our investors. So Coinbase is invested in CoinDCX, and हमारा कुछ cold wallet का funds वहाँ भी रहता है, right? So we diversify it. Cold wallet में भी diversification होता है, right? You don't put all the eggs in one basket, right? And hot wallet में बहुत कम percentage रहता है, that's just for day-to-day transactions. So that way, and of course with multi-signature, with device verification, with 2FA, with withdrawal whitelist, वो सारी चीजों के हिसाब से then user के side से protection रहता है, exchange की side से भी रहता है, custodian के side से भी रहता है.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So another question is, okay, so when will the transaction happen? Bitcoin as a common cryptocurrency will eventually be used as a payment. So basically, the question in short is when cryptocurrency will become a micro payment or payment, and that's where I was coming, because that's where the new blockchain has to come do something. That's my thought, and that's where for micro payment. Anyway, let's both of you start.
Right. So a couple of things. We already have used Bitcoin for giving salaries. A few of the people ka salary we've kind of given that. That is kind of a fairly common way to kind of get salaries for freelancers. A lot of freelancing remittance kind of happens that way. And एक वो वाला use case है, दूसरा remittance वाला use case है. So Mexico का 7% of the remittance settlement is already happening with crypto, which is crazy. Matlab, the amount of foreign remittance that kind of happens in Mexico, 7% of that is already digital assets, Bitcoin, USDT or koi type of currency. So remittance ho gaya, salaries wala use case ho gaya. Someone kind of asked jo Bangalore se tha ki yaar, someone is willing to take equity in a startup by like sending them funding in the form of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I was coming to that question, by the way. Yeah, so both of you can address that one, and I'll give
overall abhi thode one-off use cases hai, but overall as a settlement layer Bitcoin use हो सकता है, जहाँ पे बड़े value का payment हो रहा है और एक settlement हो रहा है किसी चीज का, वहाँ पे Bitcoin का तो clear use case है. As a payment mode, right? Payment mode के लिए काफी innovation होना जरूरी है, ठीक है? And right now they are not capable or anywhere close to any of the existing payment infra. जैसे UPI है, UPI is extremely sophisticated. मतलब 20% of India GDP now runs with UPI. उतना जो payment settlement जो हो रहा है, that is already happening by UPI, and I don't see anywhere in the near 2-3 years कि ऐसा कोई close कोई crypto आ सकता है. It can happen, but it needs a lot of innovation.
It needs to happen by maybe 2035 or something, but it has to happen.
Right.
2035 थोड़ा ज़्यादा late हो गया, but
the gentleman who was asking question is that somebody is sending asset or investment in a startup in crypto. One of you and both of you will help in this case.
Possibly, देखो मतलब then
Let's say it's a genuine case. It's not a scam. Let's say it's a genuine case. Everything is verified. Will you both of you support it?
Definitely. मतलब उसको अगर funds जैसे startup fund Bitcoin में तो use नहीं कर पाएगा, उसको convert करना होगा. So he'll have to send it to some exchange. Exchange से वो convert कर लेगा rupee form में और he'll kind of keep it into his bank. जितना उसको convert करना है. 10 crore का बिटकॉइन के फॉर्म में फंडिंग आया, वो पूरा कन्वर्ट करने की कोशिश नहीं करेगा क्योंकि बिटकॉइन इतना राइज कर रहा है कि शायद वो 10-15 हो जाए. So possibly he'll kind of convert a certain fraction and kind of start using it. So it can definitely be kind of done. On the legality side, some things need to be kind of figured out, but definitely seems kind of plausible.
I would have a little bit different thought here, Mitthan. So the thing is that अगर option है fiat में, like again I'm talking purely from a startup investment point of view. जब भी आप फंड रेज करते हो बाहर से, there are a lot of filings you have to do with RBI, right? आपको फाइलिंग करनी पड़ती है. आपके स्टेटमेंट में आप मतलब ऑपरेशनली आपको बिटकॉइन मिला, आपने बिटकॉइन एक्सचेंज में दिया, एक्सचेंज में आपको INR दे दिया, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं उसमें. बट आपके पास जो INR आएगा वो आपको पूरा करना पड़ेगा, because it's a business. You can tell that investor to convert that Bitcoin to their fiat currency उनके यहाँ पे and send that fiat currency. That would be a better way. Why do they want to necessarily send Bitcoin is the first question. कि आपको Bitcoin ही क्यों भेजना? अगर आपको ठीक है आपका Bitcoin,
मान लो बंदे का ये कुछ बंदे होते हैं ना कि भाई मेरे को क्रिप्टो के अलावा कुछ करना ही नहीं है. See, I had a guy, Laxmicoin, there was a realtor from Bangalore. He said, I have 400 apartments. I just want to sell in Laxmicoin, nothing else. I said, give me 200, take some coin. But anyway,
कर सकते हैं, but the problem is filings में दिक्कत आएगी और business की बात है, startup की बात है. You don't want to be in that situation. God, अगर मान लो कल को कुछ फाइलिंग करनी पड़ी वहां पे फाइलिंग इनकम्प्लीट तो थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है. इसीलिए जो भी बेच रहा है, ठीक है, he has Bitcoin only, you can assist him in converting that Bitcoin to another US dollar and ask them to send US dollar. That is totally fine. You will do all the filings,
In the
everything is
US,
fine.
it is very much possible because like यहाँ की counties Bitcoin में tax ले रही हैं, so they are taking, states are taking tax in crypto, and if you
Yes.
remember Ripple had some invested around 5 to 10 companies in Ripple format, and in Laxmicoin we had like 10% of the asset will be invested in non-blockchain startups. So it is possible. You guys might have to think. Support these use cases for going forward if it happens. So, but I think that's a good question. Okay, okay, it's there is a question. What does mining Bitcoin means? Okay, somebody doesn't even know, so that's fine. Compared to government launching digital currency, so do you guys think Indian government going to launch a digital currency like China?
Yes, I think one of the very first move that you will see from the Indian government side, and I'm not saying randomly, I have had meetings with some of the regulators, some of the people from SEBI, and they clearly discuss internally that the very first use case for a country on blockchain would be CBDCs. They will always want to have a digital equivalent of INR on blockchain. Why? Because running one, like ₹1 को चलाने में उनका 16 पैसा लगता है गवर्नमेंट का, 16 पैसा ₹1 को चलाने में इकोनॉमी में, that's a big cost, right? So they would want to minimize it, and on blockchain they can minimize it drastically. So that's the first case, that will save government billions of dollars every year, right? Second is वो जो demonetization वाला काम हुआ था ना 2000 को चेंज करना, उसमें इतना खर्चा आया था, that can be done like this, right? आपको चेंज करना है if the money becomes digital. There are a lot of benefits government see, and the third benefit they'll see is in the forex. So that was a long discussion. Just to summarize, government sees a huge potential in forex transactions, in remittance. Once INR converts to digital INR, और आपने जो government का जो भी notifications आते हैं, हर जगह government बोलती है कि they will want to come. They are evaluating the possibility of a digital equivalent of INR on blockchain, and they clearly see the benefits, right? So one of the very first use case from the government side is the CBDCs that we will see in the future.
Thank you. And what do you think, Gaurav, when it is coming?
Yeah, so I think by next year, 2022, we'll actually see manifestation of that. China is going very aggressively around that. And that's matter of game theory, right? So China would want to kind of cut down the dependence of US dollars, and they're kind of moving aggressively around that. All the countries in this Silk Road belt, all 65 countries that are out there, they want to ensure that the settlement for that happens in the form of digital RMB. And we're going to see a lot of the moves even from the US government, where banks would kind of start issuing it. Indian government would kind of start issuing it. My timeline is 2022, somewhere around say first or second quarter.
So, Mitthan, आपने एक point बोला था ना कि current blockchain में limitations है when we talk about proof of work 60 मतलब limited transactions जो हो सकते हैं. When you build a blockchain infrastructure where it can support transactions as equivalent to Visa or MasterCard, right? You know, and it's not speculation, it's a stable coin, right? Digital INR. वहाँ पे आप ये infrastructure बना सकते हो by using layer 1, layer 2 scaling. So बहुत सारी चीजें आप कर सकते हो, तो वहाँ पे ये problem नहीं आएगा, and they may want to shift their existing infrastructure on blockchain.
Achha, so what do you think? Which blockchain China has used for their own coin?
They've used
definitely private, definitely private blockchain.
China
private blockchain है, centralized blockchain है. Okay, so there are a lot of questions on the actually forecast. Okay, nobody can forecast flip a coin, but I think I'll still ask. Where do you?
Let's avoid forecast.
Yeah. So when will it go to 100K?
100K जाएगा, ये पक्का है. कब जाएगा वो नहीं बता सकते, but पक्का जाएगा. So I would say कि यार 2022 तक 100K तो जाएगा. मेरा prediction है. That's not an investment advice or something. But my prediction based on what I see and the velocity of money coming into crypto, by 2022 I think 100K is possible.
Yeah, again guys, disclaimer, there is no advice here, just we are our own thoughts. So Sumit, what do you think?
I would not comment on that. I would not comment on that. What I can tell you is the logic, how price moves. Suppose Bitcoin is so Bitcoin का अभी current market cap I think around $700 million चल रहा है, right Gaurav? $700 something billion. If Bitcoin is able to replace gold or comes closer to gold in market cap, which is around $10 trillion, Bitcoin will be at $550,000 per Bitcoin. That is
So
one
right
analysis which
now,
is.
so right now you see total market cap is 1,038,000,000,000.
Yes,
So
and Bitcoin is at $715 billion.
yeah, 715. So
अगर ये
कि ये गोल्ड को रिप्लेस करेगा तो इट हैज टू रिप्लेस टू गोल्ड, दैट मींस अराउंड 15 to 20 ट्रिलियन डॉलर होना चाहिए, बट नॉट ओनली बिटकॉइन, ऑल ऑफ देम कंबाइंडली आल्सो देयर शुड बी, but we never know, you never know all those things, so please don't take any advice, these are just random. Okay. Okay, so which current exchange is reliable for a period of 25 to 35 years? So I'm assuming both of you can take on, compare yourself with the JEPE. A lot of people ask about JEPE, so you guys want to comment on that?
यार मतलब IIT वाले हो तो हमसे ट्राई कर लो. You can try CoinDCX, you can try Bitbns, and if you have any query, the founders and the CEOs are on that WhatsApp group. तो कुछ गरियाना भी होगा तो you can kind of do it openly, no issues. You can PM us if you have an issue, and your issue would be resolved very quickly. So I would kind of suggest here, at least from a platform standpoint, Zeppe is a better platform, sir. Like Bitbns is also better, CoinDCX is also better, and you can try both, experience that, and kind of choose that way. But I won't recommend Zeppe as a user as well. So that's up to you.
Yes, same thoughts. दोनों platform, दोनों exchanges अच्छे हैं. और भी exchanges वो भी अच्छे हैं. But if you have any queries, अगर group में जो किसी को भी query है, तो हमारा नंबर है, आप डायरेक्टली मैसेज करो. अगर आपको समझ में नहीं भी आता है कैसे खरीदना है, क्या करना है, आप डीएम करो, हम आपको हेल्प कर देंगे. राइट, वी विल हेल्प यू, विल हेल्प यू ऑन बोर्ड, यू नो, देयर. तो वो सारी चीजें आएंगी, एंड वी आर ऑलवेज इन टच.
Right. And
So,
basically,
and you don't have to realize, because you are like JPEG or koi bhi, matlab, I'm not mentioning anyone, but you can have a strategy, your own strategy, and when you
ले लो सर, नाम ले लो, कोई टेंशन नहीं है, ले लो नाम.
चलो, मेरे कहने का मतलब था कि JPEG I was you know, like I know them from long time, so थोड़ा जब बिकता है and settlement में थोड़ा था problem, but that's up to them.
नहीं, अभी वो अर्लियर फाउंडिंग टीम नहीं है. मतलब पहले जब पे फिर भी ठीक था, अभी तो फाउंडिंग टीम भी निकल चुकी है. सो इट्स
अभी वो एक्वायर हो गया है.
And I don't think उन्होंने कभी एक्सटर्नल बाहर से इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टमेंट भी कुछ ऐसा लिया है, क्योंकि जो उन्होंने वही जो आपका पैसा था उसी से थोड़ा बनाया है.
ठीक है, वो अलग चीज है. बट
okay, so each country, so again there are questions on a regulatory. Rohit, I am assuming that we will do this meeting till 7:45, but if you think we should keep थोड़ा ज्यादा चलाना है तो बता देना.
7:45. अच्छा, लोकल टाइम.
ज्यादा चलाना है तो ठीक है, 8 o'clock तक कर सकता हूँ मैं. मेरा टाइम बता रहा हूँ मैं तो.
अच्छा,
ठीक है.
कितने मिनट्स और?
We can continue, not a problem.
अच्छा,
It all depends on Sumit and Gaurav.
चल, we are fine.
अच्छा, तो ये क्वेश्चन है दूसरा, कंट्री रेगुलेटरी कंपेयर टू, लाइक आपको एक बताऊंगा, G20 से एक सर्कुलेशन आया था कि दैट एवरी कंट्री हैज टू ब्रिंग क्रिप्टो रिलेटेड रेगुलेटरी. इंडिया ने ऑब्वियसली दे ट्राई टू मैस अप, but then सुप्रीम कोर्ट ट्राई टू हेल्प इट. बट आई थिंक मेरा assumption है कि like India has to come up with the regulations by maybe 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, but they have to come because it's a part of mandate from G20. And I feel it, they cannot revert back. I personally face these problems with the Laxmicoin launch multiple times, but मुझे लगता नहीं कि अब जाके ये problem रहेगी. So what is your thought on quickly, like I think पहले discuss कर चुके हैं, तो एक मिनट का अगर आप मतलब एक लाइन दो लाइन आपको बोलना है तो.
Right. So रेगुलेशन के टर्म्स में इंडिया हमेशा वैसा वाला अप्रोच लेता है कि यार बाकी लोगों को रेगुलेट कर लेने दो. We'll take the best of some of those things and then kind of figure out our regulation. And I think that's the sort of approach here as well that's kind of happening. Japan has kind of regulated it. A lot of other sort of financial service authorities globally are kind of doing it. UAE, I've kind of talked with their financial services authority. बाकी जगह भी regulatory sort of thing है. बैन करने के 2-3 जगह ट्राई हुआ था and they kind of reverted it. So Thailand tried banning it. in 2013-14, and then they kind of reverted it in 2018. So overall, banning something like crypto in general is really, really hard, and a regulation is the right approach. We've tried explaining this to the regulators, and I think positively regulation to aega. G20 maybe India did say that they would kind of try and create a framework around this, and hopefully that kind of comes through.
Sure. From my side, I think I strongly believe India will regulate it, but they will regulate it slower than other countries because India thoda conservative approach leta hai. One thing that government will take a neutral stance. जब बाकी सब लोग करेंगे तो government उनसे सीख के, as Gaurav mentioned, they will regulate it. The overall asset class. One thing that is interesting happening is in the absence of regulation, अभी regulation नहीं है, तो exchanges क्या कर रहे हैं? Exchanges self regulate कर रहे हैं. तो IAMA जो इंटरनेट एंड मोबाइल एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया है, उसके साथ CoinDCX is also a part of that. We self regulated ourselves. मतलब मिलके सारे एक्सचेंजेस ने एक गाइडलाइंस बनाई है, एंड वी विल फॉलो दोस गाइडलाइंस नो मैटर व्हाट. गवर्नमेंट, हम चाहते हैं गवर्नमेंट हमें बोले कि these are things you should follow. नहीं है तो हम स्टॉक मार्केट में क्या चलता है, बैंक्स में क्या चलता है, वहां से गाइडलाइंस उठा के there's a series of pointers we have written and we will comply with that.
I think a lot of exchange in US started with the self-regulatory.
Yeah. Indian exchange also self-regulated.
But I would say in India, because of this slow regulatory move, we lost like some potential startups or potential upcoming. अभी जैसे हम लोग कितना, like let's say Indians के पास में $100 billion का बिटकॉइन और क्रिप्टो एसेट है, तो इतना पैसा बाहर जा चुका है. इंडियन गवर्नमेंट को ये समझ में ही नहीं आता, क्योंकि it would have been like inflow rather than outflow. But I think the regulatories are too slow and they move too slow. I don't know why. What's the benefit of that? Another question is on the tax implication. Both of you, on how do you guys handle the tax implication for the people?
Sure. So Bitcoin earnings are generally, so there is no again clear guideline from the government on the taxation, but generally वो capital gains में आता है. अगर आप मतलब based on the holding, so आप capital gains में उसको count करो. अगर आप trading कर रहे हो, then it will come in the business income. But if you're investing, depending upon the investment period, you'll have to pay equivalent capital gains taxes on that.
Right.
Okay.
So typically, same correction. Taxation वाले में clarity तो अभी है नहीं. You can classify yourself as a trader or as an investor. A trader है तो business income you can kind of showcase, और उसके अंदर you can kind of showcase profits and gains in the business and profession. Investment है तो capital gains दिखाकर you can kind of pay the taxes there.
Okay, so a lot of question on again the pricing or security, I think, which you guys address. There are on regulatories. People want to buy Coinbase. Okay, I think these are the mostly questions. And okay, so again, this question came. If they invest through your platform, what are the regulatories? Regulations you take? So both of you are doing regulation.
Regulation मतलब कोई licensing वाला चीज है नहीं, ठीक है. So all the platforms right now in India, it's just that if someone wants to decide कि यार किस platform
शुरू मैंने चला लिया था, हाय हो गई थी. हेलो अंकल, हेलो संजय सर, सुमित. इसको ऑफिशियली सर.
Can you guys mute?
हाँ.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, what I was saying was कि all platforms self-regulate right now in India. Only thing that you need to kind of consider is कि आप reviews वगैरह वो सब check कर सकते हो. Approachability of the founding team देख लो. So that is kind of helpful कि यार कहीं if you kind of get stuck and all, is the founding team kind of like replies quickly and kind of is on top of all the issues that are kind of happening. इस केस में both of us can kind of commit कि यार कभी भी आप मैसेज कर दो, WhatsApp में will kind of get it replied and get it sorted. So you can kind of get started on it. And if we don't solve, you can drag us in the group. So that also is a possibility. So you can kind of start. Second is कि start investing smaller amounts. Do not kind of over invest or over index into crypto. Start in a rupee cost averaging sort of a format or SIP style format. धीरे धीरे करके kind of start growing that sort of a pie. recommended sort of flow is are not more than 5-6% of your portfolio initially, and as you kind of get more understanding, you can kind of look into it. Start reading about content. There are a lot of good content. CoinDCX has something called as DCX Learn. वहाँ पे उनकी academy वाला चीज है. We also have a lot of content that we kind of put out with Bitbns Academy. So you can kind of read about that, and you can reach out to us anytime on WhatsApp, Twitter, Telegram, kahin bhi, and we'll Telegram.
एक और क्वेश्चन to both of you.
Telegram.
तो आपके यहाँ पे बिटकॉइन कितने का अभी? Both of you.
29
जो
lakh
मैं चेक करके बता देता हूँ आपको एग्जैक्ट
9
प्राइस.
lakh 40,000.
अच्छा.
कितना?
तो 2940.
या सेम ही चल रहा है ऑलमोस्ट.
सेम चल रहा है, मतलब दोनों के सेम चल रहा है.
आर्बिट्राज नहीं है, मतलब आर्बिट्राज कर लेते हैं.
हाँ. Okay. So another question, when will be a cryptocurrency coming out of India? अब आप लोगों से ये क्वेश्चन में पूछ रहे हैं.
क्रिप्टो करेंसी कमिंग आउट ऑफ इंडिया एज इन
मतलब इंडिविजुअल करेंसी.
जैसे अभी अपने देखो बिटकॉइन तो कहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ है, बट जैसे अपना XRP है, स्टेलर है, ठीक है, EOS है.
ओवरऑल हाँ, तो ये एक बात ये है कि थोड़ा रेगुलेटरी सॉर्ट ऑफ क्लैरिटी उतनी है नहीं. We have a currency, like we have an asset called BNS, और जिसके through people can get certain benefits on the platform, क्या trading fee discount मिल सकता है and all of that sort of thing. For simplistic assumption, यार this is more like shopper stop points, यार या फिर Macy's points or something, कि you can kind of use those points to kind of get some cashback or redemption on your store sort of purchases. Similar to that, we have a digital asset called BNS, through which people can get trading fee discounts and all. और भी चीजें हैं. There are other sort of things that have been built from India. Matic is one of them, and a lot of others are kind of getting built. And we see kind of a lot of exciting developments happening from crypto in general from India.
Thank you. And Gaurav, sorry, Sumit, is international arbitrage on Bitcoin possible?
इंटरनेशनल आर्बिट्राज ऑन बिटकॉइन, यस इट इज पॉसिबल. इंडिया में बिटकॉइन थोड़ा प्रीमियम पे चलता है. आई थिंक 3%, 5%, 7% डिपेंड करता है वॉलेटिलिटी पे, पर आर्बिट्राज पॉसिबल है.
तो काफी लोग वैसे करते हैं कि लाइक इफ दे हैव फ्रेंड्स इन यूएस और उनके बैचमेट्स कहीं यूएस में चले गए, सो दे मेक देयर पॉकेट मनी बाय दैट, कि यार वहां से बिटकॉइन लेते हैं, यहाँ भेजते हैं, फिर प्रीमियम जब कम होता है तो वापस भेज देते हैं. देन द मनी काइंड ऑफ रोटेट्स दैट वे. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ ऑलरेडी हैपनिंग.
वर्क कर रहे थे.
हां.
Okay. I think it's 7:46 for me. I think anything other than that, Rohit, or you guys have anything to add?
I just have one point which I feel that it should go out to as many people as possible. Whenever you are thinking of investing into crypto, I think it's better that you know about the whole Bitcoin thing. What is Bitcoin? What is blockchain? How the space moves? Because it's about money that you are investing. So it's first important to have the knowledge around it and then start investing. As Gaurav mentioned, start with the smaller amounts, and जैसे जैसे आपको समझ में आता है वैसे वैसे आप अपना exposure बढ़ाते जाओ. Invest only the amount that you're willing to lose. अगर कल को crash होता भी है, then it should not affect you financially. And then fourth thing is invest for a long term. आप एक दिन में बाय सेल करेंगे, 2 दिन में, 5 दिन में, वो नहीं, 2 साल, 5 साल, 10 साल. If you do that, eventually you will have good ROI, good returns. ये सारी चीजें हैं, like if you are thinking of investing.
One thing is for sure, guys, don't put your lot of asset into like emotional. Okay, I mean be careful. Like Sumit said, कि भैया जो money you are ready, because you never know, the fluctuate is so much. But look at the real value of blockchain, real value of crypto. It's a future. I strongly believe it's a future. And I strongly believe that there will be a new blockchain, at least not one, but will be multiple, maybe more than one, which will solve the real problem. See, none of the blockchain at this moment can do micropayment, and that has to be solved. Right. With that, I think I thank everybody, and Gajendra Sharma ji just entered, so thank you, Gajendra ji.
And please feel free to reach out. आपको कोई भी चीज, crypto, blockchain, किसी भी चीज के लिए, even if you have any query in general, or even if you're skeptical कि यार ये scam तो नहीं है, do feel free to reach out. And I think we can have a discussion around that. We're there in the group, and we'll just kind of say hi post the call, and you can kind of feel free to reach out. I think this call is also recorded, so I think once we kind of put this call out,
Guys, stay
it's
away from
recorded.
somebody sending you a lot of cryptocurrency from outside or something. Please, if you get emails like that, just stay away. Verify. Don't send money to people just like that. So
Be wary of scams. Crypto में scams काफी है, और a lot of people would try and attack your email ID or gain access to your things. तो phishing attacks काफी होंगे, काफी sophisticated level पे भी होंगे. So stay away from that. Be careful when you're kind of checking mails की source सही है या नहीं, and all of that, and do not click random links and all. No one in the world is going to give you free money for anything, so do not kind of click on links which say okay, that sort of a thing is there. And I think basics should kind of help there.
Yeah,
okay,
general
suppose-
thumb of rule: if something is too good to be true, अगर आपको लग रहा है मतलब this is so good, then think again about it.
Yeah.
Normal investing is fine, but crypto की दुनिया में you should be very careful. And if you have any questions, as Gaurav mentioned, drop us a message. If you have any questions, अपना number डाल दो, we'll arrange a call back. आपको समझा, like we'll properly guide you through that. You can trust us. So don't take us up.
Possibly on WhatsApp, क्योंकि Telegram में ये काफी लोग गलत बंदे को मैसेज कर देते हैं, because Telegram में बहुत सारे impersonator होते हैं. So a lot of people fall for the impersonator because the impersonator messages them first, and then they kind of get scammed. So possibly I think either use the direct site wala sort of feedback or ticket mechanism or a chat mechanism, or directly reach out to us on WhatsApp that way.
Yes.
So, and guys, there's a similarly on top of, like, I'll talk about Laxmicoin. People are asking, so what happened? A lot of people started fake Laxmicoin, and I had a trademark, so I have to get them closed. And I literally filed the police cases, and I started long time back, but 2 बार मेरे यहाँ पे रेगुलेटरी आते, गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल आए थे, वो बंद करवा देते थे. मुझे लगता है अभी बिकॉज ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट एंड रेगुलेटरीज आर कमिंग, आई एम स्टिल इन टच विथ RBI. तो थोड़ा पॉजिटिव रेस्पॉन्स आना शुरू हुआ है. अगर सही चला तो देन आई विल कम, बट माय टेक ऑन दिस इज नॉट द currency is a secondary. Actually the technology is a blockchain, and where I want to come as a Laxmicoin as a micro payment or remittance, where actually if we can do 4,000 plus TPS or 5,000 plus TPS transaction per second, where actually अभी तक 256 और Ripple और Stellar 1500 पे अटके हुए, 1000 पे अटके हुए. अगर 5 से या मतलब 10,000 से ऊपर नहीं है तो फिर उसका कोई ज्यादा मीनिंग नहीं है. And that's where my target is, if I can do, and that's where I'll come in. So with that, thank you everybody, and thank you guys, Sumit and Gaurav, and wish you guys all the best. Safe investing.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so
Rohit.
much. Enjoyed the
Thank you.
discussion.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for the participation. 70 plus people kind of participated, and it's kind of a pretty odd time. So thanks for kind of joining in. Thanks for Rohit, Swadeep, for kind of organizing this and kind of spreading the word out. And any questions you have, just reach out to us. Would be happy to kind of answer.
And if you want to have more of such sessions, अगर ऐसे वापस और करने, we are always available.
And also thanks to Manish Chaudhary from Skilling India for setting up the whole Zoom platform.
Right.
Thanks,
And
Manish. Yeah.
everyone, goodbye.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.